Place training can be used not only in the field, but in the house. Now, a lot of people, you might be scratching your head, how are we going to use this in the house? How many people have dogs that get excited when people come over? Doorbell rings, knock, knock, knocks, mailman, it's company, whatever. Dogs go ballistic. They start jumping on, the company comes in, they're like, ah, my dogs! And you're like, stop jumping on there. And they're like, no, it's okay. We're dog people. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants that. You feel embarrassed, and this is a really, really, really easy way to make that all go away. So we start this process, like I said, using positive reinforcement. Hey, hey, hey. Now we've just taught our dog that they can eat out of our hand. Then we've taught them that they can get rewarded by coming and touching our hand. And now we can use that to lure them onto the bed. All right, guys, so we're going to do something a little bit different today. My name is Kat Pippitt with Standing Stone Kennels and DT Systems Collar Products. We're going to do a short demonstration with a dog that knows it all. It's going to make it look easy. Then we're going to take a puppy that doesn't know anything, and I'm going to try and show you how an actual training session will look. Now, this won't be perfect, but hopefully we can see some progressions and be able to judge maybe how a training session might go at home. So to start off with, this seminar is about hunting dogs and family dogs and how to have both. We're going to break this down into 3 easy steps. It's important for a dog to come back to you when you call them. That's a big one. It's important for a dog to stay. And you got to see with Tom, he talked about place and showed how important that can be. Yes, good. How important that can be in training as well as it can be applied around the house. And then we're going to talk about heeling, how to get your dog to walk on lead without pulling you. So, to start with, we use operand conditioning in our training. Operand conditioning is used in everyday life as well as dog training or animal behavior training. It's broken into 4 different parts, 3 of which are really, really important in our dog's training program. One of which I would assume a lot of you have heard of, positive reinforcement. Anybody heard of positive reinforcement training? That's using something that your dog likes or is willing to work for to build a more consistent, to build a more consistent behavior. So a lot of times dogs need to eat. So treats or food become a really easy way to incorporate positive reinforcement into training. The next thing is going to be negative reinforcement training. Negative reinforcement training would be mild annoyances that the dog learns to turn off to again improve a specific behavior. Real world examples. Alarm clocks. Does anybody use any type of alarm clock? The alarm goes off and it continues until you wake up and shut it off. That's negative reinforcement, and you're using that to teach yourself and to help yourself get up in the morning. The next is going to be called positive punishment. And this gets to be a little bit confusing. Positive and punishment at the same time, how does that work? The positive form is adding something to the situation in the form of punishment. Now, this is used sometimes, it would be like a correction. If you've got a leash on your dog, it would be he steps out of line, we give a big jerk on that. That would be a form in dog training where positive punishment is used. Real world example, my family, we have a pretty big family, and I've got 3 other brothers. You can imagine what that's like around family gatherings. My younger brother was kind of being smart. He had lipped off about something or was being snotty to my mom, and she was sitting there, flipped her shoe across the room, hit him in the face. Now, I have no idea to this day how she did that or if she could ever repeat that. But that was positive punishment. She added something to the situation, and it caught his attention. He went, whoa. She said, no, knock it off. You know, you don't need to behave that way. So the last is negative punishment, and that's taking something away in the form of punishment to get more of a result that we're looking for. Now, in dog training, I'm sure a lot of you have heard in different seminars and when you're looking at stuff that timing is very, very important. We've got 3 to 5 seconds to reinforce something that's going on. Now, in a negative punishment form, real life side of things, it's going to be like grounding or taking away privileges. Our kids, some of us have kids now or were kids at one time, understand that when you do something wrong, a lot of times you lose privileges like getting sent to your room or losing cell phone or video games or TV privileges. All of that is a form of negative punishment, and it's not really applicable in dog training very often, because we can't say, you broke and screwed up on the bird hunt, so we're going to take away your evening time to play with the kids. You're grounded. It doesn't make sense then, because timing, being in that 3 to 5 second window for reinforcement, is what we need to be. So, to start off with, breaking down these 3 steps, we talked about the first one being recall. Now we start all of our training, that's going to be exactly what it was before. We start all of our training using, thanks hon, positive reinforcement, and that involves in our program clicker training. Now clickers are a marker that basically shows the dog that what they're doing at that second that they hear the click was right. It takes a snapshot. It says, right there, that was perfect. So it makes it very easy. Now some people say, I say yes or good dog, but if you've had a long day at work and you're trying to do your training session, your voice may carry a little bit of baggage, a little bit of different inflection, and that doesn't mean the same thing to our dogs. They fully understand and can pick up on our moods and our emotions, even more than we could even imagine sometimes. They read us well. So being able to apply this to your training sessions makes life a lot easier. Now, when you start out with a new puppy, we have to charge the clicker. Dogs aren't born with the ability to understand that this noise means something good's happening or that they did anything right. So we charge the clicker by clicking and feeding. Click, food. Drop one. Click, food. Now this may take 1 session, it may take 2 sessions, usually not a whole lot more than that. If you do 20 or 30 reps, just clicking and feeding, it's very easy. Once you have a dog that, when you click, they look to you, you know that the clicker is charged and you're ready to start additional training steps. Now, when we start working on recall, we use targeting. Targeting would be the dog coming in and touching something. In this situation, we use our hand that we've just fed like 30 to 60 to 100 treats out of, so the dog is coming here looking for something, but now there's nothing in my hand. We're just going to mark him touching my hand, and then the reward comes after. Good boy. Again. Good. Good. We can incorporate variable reinforcement. That's going to be him making multiple marks, and then the reward coming after. Now, the level of variability changes on the age of your dog, the level of focus your dog has, and you're going to see completely different with this little puppy here. But it's a lot like gambling in real life. There are some people that know what I'm talking about. You play the slot machine, you win. That's exciting. That's your positive reinforcement. Shiny lights, money comes out, that's fantastic. You play again, you lose. Well, I just won. Let me try again. You play again, you lose. You play again, you win. That keeps you coming back. Now, if the level of variability becomes too large, you lose, you lose, you lose, you lose, you lose, you go home. You're tired of playing. So we've got to find that balance act between, with our dogs specifically, how many times can they play before they lose interest, and then we need to stay under that. And you're going to be able to build on that. So it might be 2 or 3 reps, then 5 reps, then 7 reps, and then you're going through their whole repertoire. They sit, they shake, they come, they kennel, they do all of the things they know. But that's incorporating variable reinforcement into your positive reinforcement training. So now that we have a dog that knows how to target, he fully understands that when I drop my hand, he can come in and touch that. We're going to switch over to e-collar training. We use DT Systems collars. They have a vibrate feature. This can be started very, very early in life to condition, tied right in with the behavior they already understand. So this is the checkpoints before we touch the collar. The dog knows what we're asking. Then we start to overlay vibrate. Into potty. Nice and hydrated. Good boy. So collar goes on at the same time we're asking. and it shuts off here. We got some distractions over there, don't we, buddy? Collar comes on and shuts off here. He says there's more stuff over there. Good. And we rep this, and he's getting pretty clingy, so you can do this with another person. Your dog gets to, they understand this is where I'm getting rewarded. Then you add a second person, and do you want to come help me with that real quick? We can show what that looks like. Yeah, I'll hold her. Good, come here, babe. So this will then look like the collar turns on and shuts off here, and then your partner, collar's on, and it shuts off there. So you can build reps that way and build consistency in a controlled environment, and you are well on your way to having a dog that's ready to come back to you when you need them to. The next thing that's very important, and we teach this the exact same way, is place training. Place training can be used not only in the field, but in the house. Now, a lot of people, you might be scratching your head, how are we going to use this in the house? How many people have dogs that get excited when people come over? Doorbell rings, knock, knock, knocks, mailman, it's company, whatever. Dogs go ballistic. They start jumping on, the company comes in, they're like, ah, my dogs! And you're like, stop jumping on there. And they're like, no, it's okay. We're dog people. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants that. You feel embarrassed, and this is a really, really, really easy way to make that all go away. So we start this process, like I said, using positive reinforcement. Hey, hey, hey. Now we've just taught our dog that they can eat out of our hand. Then we've taught them that they can get rewarded by coming and touching our hand. And now we can use that to lure them onto the bed. Now this is what we're going to try and teach this little puppy here. I'll show you some of the things that she knows, and then we're going to try and teach her in about a 15-20 minute training session how to go onto the bed on cue, ideally. That'd be where we can try and get. But again, good. We lead here and mark once they're on the bed. When you click, that marks and ends the behavior. So if he were to come off the bed instantly, that's completely fine. All we're asking is for him to go onto the bed now, not stay. That comes later. Good. Come this way. Come on, come on, come on. Good boy. So we lead him. Good. And obviously he understands how to do this. Once he's showing a firm understanding, he's going to the bed, going to the bed, going to the bed really, really fast, turns around, looks at you, where's my treat? Then you can start to incorporate the cue, okay? Good. And I forgot. Kennel. Good boy. Then when you can send him from a distance, kennel. Still marking that. We've got a dog that has an understanding. Again, that was the precursor to being able to use an e-collar, right? We've got an understanding of what we're asking. Good. And we start that process again. Kennel. He feels the collar. Shuts off once he's on the bed. That's the safe zone. Kennel, and it shuts off there. Now, we can advance on that, okay? Okay? Using your feet in training is very important. Dogs as well, their brains seem to be directly attached to their feet. Have you ever had a situation where you've got your dog that knows how to sit? You know, that's a major one. Everybody's dogs pretty much know how to sit. And you look at them and you say, sit. And you say, sit. And you say, sit. And they're not paying attention to you. You don't have their focus, right? But if you go, hey, 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 sit, hey, right here, dude, sit, we get his attention, and we can mark that. It's the same thing in this situation. If he's not paying attention to what we're asking, you don't have focus. If they lock up, they're standing there and you're asking, and you're like, you know how to do this, you've shown me multiple times. Get their feet moving, move your feet, they'll come with you, and restart it. Resets that brain so that we can start thinking again. Good. As we improve on this, we can send him from a distance. Collar's on, kennel. Collar shuts off. That's negative reinforcement. Good. Kennel. Goes back. At this point, we're not asking him to stay there. That's going to be the next step. Kennel. Good. Now we can start with just a few seconds and build that distance. As soon as he comes off, the collar comes back on. And he learns that the ground is basically hot lava, and this place right here is safe. Now, when you incorporate this in your home, doorbell rings, right? We've got that dog that's amped up and excited and company's coming over. We say, kennel. And you stay here until the excitement wears off. And you'll see it. It's plain as day. You got a dog that's there and he's dancing and he's happy and he's excited. And then he takes a breath and then he lays down or sits. And then everybody that's new can come over and greet him. Good boy. Calmly, not screaming. We all know who that one person is that comes over and just screams puppies every time they come over. But they can learn to calm down, and you can eliminate that behavior. Anything dogs are doing, they're conditioning themselves to. And if we see patterns, especially patterns that we don't like, we need to figure out a way to break that chain of events and figure out how we can prevent it from happening. And place training is a great way to do that. Now, the last thing that I talked about, how are we doing on time? Okay, come on, was healing. We use a product that Kat and I came up with called an EasyLead. It works similar to some other products that are on the market. Some of you may have heard of a gentle leader. Vex here. Good. This is a standard leash. You run the lead through the ring here, and it makes a slip style lead. We can take and put this on our dog. It also has a clip so that we're attached here. We make one twist underneath to make a figure 8. That goes up over their muzzle, and now you have a makeshift head halter. So we can take all of the pull out by giving us control over the dog's head. Now, the hardest part of this whole process when it comes to healing is helping the dog to get used to this. This is different. This is weird. And we've got to help the dogs to get used to this first. Usually we do this by just standing here. We do the little tug. As long as the dog doesn't have an adverse reaction like jumping or thrashing or digging at their face or any of these things, we give another little tug. And then we take one step. Help them to move and then stop them again. The cool thing about this is this material is really, really durable and really springy. So as soon as we drop our hand, you can see an instant release here. They no longer have any tension on their neck, over their muzzle. And this is going to allow us to train them to stop healing with pressure on, pressure off. As soon as they step out too far, they feel a little bit of tension. And when they're back where they're supposed to, we've got our hand dropped, and they don't feel any tension at all. Once they get good at this, come on, and you can walk with very minimal to no tugs on this leash, then we can flip this off of their muzzle, and we have a standard slip style or choke style leash. Now you can start to overlay the collar because we've got a dog now that understands the healing behavior. That was the precursor, right? Your dog needs to understand what you're asking before you start to overlay any e-collar. And we make a correction in combination with a lead tug. So collar, 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 collar. And then we can start to transition from needing this at all, which we pull this back out. Now we've got our 4-foot leash that we can walk, and we can make all of our corrections with an e-collar. Heel. And that includes completely off leash. Good. We'll make a correction here. Heel. Good boy. Good. So that is the EasyLead. And that is how we work with all of our dogs in our program. Any dog can learn how to heal in less than 10-15 minutes. It is the truth. Now, what everybody is waiting for is Quest. This is a little puppy out of Vex. And we're doing an awesome video series with her, trying to show live everything that we're teaching her. I need that bed. So, we have started with her already. Yeah. We've got a lot of distractions here today, including this check cord. Good. I'm going to show you just a couple things that she knows. We've already charged the clicker with this little girl. Yeah. She says sniffs, 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 sniffs. And this is an important part of working with puppies is you need to have patience because not all of your sessions are going to go exactly how you hope that they would. And you need to be able to work through that and try and make progress. So, first thing we need to do is get her attention. Come on, baby. She says, I want just a little water. Good. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Good. Sit. Come on, sit. Good girl. Yeah. Hey, 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 hey. There's that target. Good girl. Good girl. You can see again, there's a lot of things going on. There's smells and scents, and she's checking them out, but we've still got her focus. Hey, 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 hey. To an extent. Come on. Acorns. Acorns. Hey. Good girl. Right now, we're not using variable reinforcement at all. She's getting a reward every time. I lost that one. Every time she does something right. Hey, 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 hey. Good. Good girl. Good. So now we're going to use our hand, like I said, to try and lead her onto the bed. Hey, 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 hey. Come on, come on, come on. You are just loving these acorns, huh? Let's do this right here. Yeah. Good girl. Trying to make sure that she's not touching our hand. In this situation, we're using it to lure her. We want to lead her that direction, but mark her going on the bed. Hey, 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 hey. Come on, baby. Come on. Hey, quest, 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 quest. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. Let's do another one. Come on. Come on. Good. Good, 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 good. Good, good, good. Good. You see how she's honing right in on my hand. It's allowing us to mark movement onto the bed. We got a lot of distractions, which is important to keep in mind when you are training. Doing sessions in a controlled environment, which this is not. And you can see why a controlled environment would be beneficial. You would have less distractions, which can help you to get a little bit further in a training session. Quit. Right here. There we go. Good. As soon as we pull her attention, we can get another rep in. Come on. There you go. There you go. Hey, 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 hey. Good girl. Good girl. Hey. Right here. You see how much easier that one was? It took very little luring. She wasn't looking as much for the hand. She was going to the bed. Just the movement in that direction. Drink a little water. Come on. Hey, 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 hey. Right here. Right here, right here. Come on, pup, pup, pup. Come on, pup, pup, pup. Come on. Good. Good girl. Okay. Ready? Good girl. You see, as soon as she hears that click, boom, looks back to me. That's a firm understanding in what this clicker is and that she did something right. She may not know 100% yet. Well, I know she doesn't know 100% yet how to go on this bed by cue, but she's starting to figure out that this is part of the game. Hey, 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 hey. Come on. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. Good. I'm getting a little more focused now. Come on. Yes. Come on. Sassy. All the sass. Now there's a fine line with this one, and these are other things that you can recognize in your training sessions. It's really cute right now. Good. Now you can see that all I did was stand next to the bed at that point in time. She came back and got on the bed. We marked that for reward. Now she wants my attention, but I don't want her to think that that's okay. So I'm giving her at this point in time no excuse me, no attention for that specific behavior, and we're going to give her attention for things like getting on the bed. Good. Come on. Hi, 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 hi. You saw a yawn. That's part of the mental stimulation of being here this weekend. She's pretty tired for a little girl. So there was no leading at all. She just started walking on the bed, and we're able to mark that. Now we're starting to have to lead her off of the bed more. Good. Come on. Bring it with. That's fine. Come on, come on, come on. Good. Yeah, come on, come on. We're going to do a couple more reps with her, and we'll call this a really, really good first session. Hi, 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 hi. Quest. Good. She steps on the bed. She looks to me. She's waiting for that mark because she knows, hey, this is what I've been doing to get rewarded. Yeah, that works too. Good. Come on. As she gets better and more consistent at this, that's when we'll start to overlay the cue, but we're not there yet. We've got to help her a little bit still. We'll get you some water when we get back over there, baby. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. There you go. I believe everybody here can see how powerful of a tool this is. We've done just a short, maybe 10, 12-minute session. We've got a dog that's comfortable moving onto the dog bed, looking for us for praise and reward, knowing that she did a good job. As she continues, we'll be able to increase the amount of, we'll do more sessions with her, and then as she gets better with that, we overlay the cue. Once she gets really good with that, then we start collar conditioning. Now that won't be for another month or so. Right now she's 12 weeks old. We'll probably start vibrate conditioning around 16 weeks with her. It's a very, very, very easy way to build consistency and starting at a very young age. Good. Does anybody have any questions about this? Any at all? Yeah? Absolutely. Absolutely. So the question was, what about older dogs? Does this work for older dogs? A lot of you have probably heard, can't teach an old dog new tricks and that sort of thing. You can, it just takes a little bit longer. And the key, again, using positive reinforcement, good, is to make sure that you've got something that that specific dog wants to work for. Okay, come on. Why would I want to come off? This is where I get rewarded. Good. Good girl. Any other questions? Yeah?
I've heard that, sometimes on heel, like if it's a pointer specifically,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily the best thing to use for, you're going to use the dog primarily for hunting, but I mean, is that true, or is that just a good obedience thing?
Excellent question. So the question was, I've heard that you shouldn't probably heel pointers if you're going to be expecting them to run around out in the grass and get further distances from you. Now, anything can be overdone. Too much of anything is bad, and that's the case with everything in life. Now, in a healing specific situation, we want to make sure that our dogs are comfortable going away from us before we put a lot of emphasis on them staying right by our side. If you put too much emphasis on the healing first and they're not comfortable leaving your side, they're going to default with, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do here, but I know that this was good and this was a safe zone, and then you can cause problems with that. But if you've got a dog that's comfortable running and covering ground and doing all of that, then you're ready to start working on the obedience aspect of heel, because you can definitely have both. Just because you have a pointer and you want them to run doesn't mean that they can't also behave. Awesome question. Thank you. Anything else? Awesome. You guys have been great. If you have any other questions, feel free to stop by up here at the DT Systems booth. We'd be happy to work with you on anything.
Thank you.
Thank you.